Tonight on UATV, France is fighting back after the terror attacks in Paris.
La France est en guerre.
France is at war.
The French military's plan of action coming up.
Plus, U.S. leaders are calling on President Obama to put troops on the ground in Syria. But the president has a different solution: how the United States is handling the situation.
And students on campus are mourning those lost in France today, how they and others around the world are supporting the victims of the attacks, as UATV News starts right now.
Welcome to UATV News on this Monday evening. I'm Amanda Simmons.
And I'm Ambrosia Johnson. Thanks for joining us.
3 teams of terrorists staged coordinated attacks at 6 locations throughout Paris late Friday.
We are not committed to a war of civilizations because these assassins don't represent any civilization.
Responsibility for the attacks, which left no less than 129 dead and at least 350 injured, many of whom remain in critical condition. President Francois Hollande declared a national state of emergency following his evacuation from an international soccer match at Stade de France, after 3 suicide bombers detonated explosives just outside the stadium.
French authorities said 7 terrorists were killed, 1 fewer than the number ISIS claimed were involved. Investigations are ongoing with people taken into custody and at least 4 of the gun-wielding suicide bombers identified. A worldwide manhunt is underway for Belgian-born French national Salah Abdeslam, who is suspected of being involved in the attacks.
Immediately following the attacks, France is taking action against ISIS. French President Francois Hollande has declared war, and the French Air Force is carrying out bombing missions in Syria, where ISIS is located. President Hollande has vowed to eradicate terrorism.
I want France to remain itself. Barbarians attacking it, want to disfigure it, they will not.
According to the French military, the bombs are aimed at Raqqa, an ISIS command center and training camp. Several United States senators and congressmen also say they think the U.S. should declare war against ISIS.
That is our constitutional responsibility. I think Congress should declare war against ISIS. That would send a very strong message, I think, worldwide.
Unfortunately, we have predicted that we were not defeating ISIS, and they were certainly not contained, and we need boots on the ground.
Tragedy in Paris, ISIS leaders released a video making threats that the same type of attack could happen here in the U.S.
The Paris attacks and the threat of attacks on other countries shifted the focus of the G20 summit earlier today in Turkey. World leaders discussed the threat of ISIS and how future attacks may be prevented. President Obama spoke at the summit and says putting troops on the ground in Syria and Iraq is a bad idea.
We stand in solidarity with them in hunting down the perpetrators of this crime and bringing them to justice.
The president went on to say he will do whatever is necessary to keep the American people safe. The threat of attacks in the U.S. has brought to light the debate over allowing Syrian refugees to come to America. So far, 23 governors have declared that they will not allow Syrian refugees in their states, Arkansas being one of them. Today, Governor Asa Hutchinson released a statement saying in part, quote, "As governor, I oppose any facility or installation in Arkansas being used as a Syrian refugee center. This is not the right strategy for the United States to become a permanent place of relocation. My thoughts and prayers are with them, but I will not support a policy that is not the best solution and that poses risk to Arkansas." Some of the other states that are refusing refugees, including Texas, Alabama, Florida, and Georgia.
Cities all over the world are paying tribute to those lost in the Paris terror attacks. Cities including Dallas, New York City, Madrid, Sydney, and many more are illuminating monuments in blue, white, and red, the colors of the French flag, to show support and unity as nations of the world. Here at the University of Arkansas, there are 4 American students studying abroad in France. We have confirmed through the Study Abroad office that none of those students were in Paris during the attacks, and all are safe. There are also 8 students from France studying here at the U of A. The Study Abroad office contacted each of these students and confirmed that none of their family members or friends were affected in the attacks. Social media has been a main source of consolation and information for people all over the world regarding the Paris terror attacks. A woman took to Twitter to find her loved one using the French translation of "Search Paris." 90 minutes later, the hashtag was being used in more than 100 tweets per minute. Facebook also created a filter of the French flag to overlay on one's profile picture to show support. Facebook also joined the search and launched Safety Check, a tool it has used only a handful of times to help users track down friends. Many expressed thanks to the company, one reading, "Social media as it should be used." Others, though, raised questions over why it wasn't used in previous attacks. Well, we've seen pretty much rain all day today, so will the sun come out tomorrow?
UATV's Michael Morrison has a look at our weather. Michael?
That's right, Amanda and Ambrosia. As little orphan Annie says, the sun will come out tomorrow. Well, not in Fayetteville. But let's take a look at how it is right now. Right now it's mostly cloudy, feeling like 59, so we're not going to have much of a wind chill. But some of the wind, as you felt it today, was really strong. So that's really interesting that it's not really feeling much colder than it is. But tomorrow is a completely different story. But we're going to have a look at our 5-day forecast as well as some national maps in just a minute. So I'm going to send it back to you guys over at the desk.
Surrounding International Education Week here at the U of A had somber beginnings as those attending a Kickstart event this morning shared a moment of silence.
Just to have a minute of silence and just to honor and think of those that are really struggling with the world's activities.
In light of the recent Paris attacks, international education is on the rise at the U of A. The campus saw international student enrollment reach more than 1,500 students, representing over 100 countries for the fall 2015 term. The number of students studying abroad is also growing. More than 900 students studied abroad in 51 countries during the 2014-15 academic year. A full list of the week's events can be found on the International Students and Scholars website.
Being an international student is hard, but try being an international student athlete. UATV's Shakara Boychi has more.
Of International Education Week, students from all around the world gathered in a union to share their cultures with others. One specific section was for international student athletes. I got a chance to speak with Jack Bruce, an Australian cross-country runner here at the university, to see what it's like to be an international student athlete here.
Right now it's not too bad, but going forward it's going to get more difficult. You know, cultures are very different in Australia and America, and also just where I live and how I live is very different. The biggest difference is going from a city living to more so like a country living. I definitely miss the sunshine all year round.
Over 1,385 international students attend the University of Arkansas in pursuit of an education. More events for International Education Week will continue tomorrow, so students can get a better idea of where their foreign peers come from. For UATV, I'm Shakara Boachi.
This week, be sure to stop in the Union to learn more about international students here at the U of A.
Up on UATV, we'll tell you about the Triple D effect, the dangers of distracted driving, and what distractions police are looking for. UAPD knows what you did last summer. Find out how officers are keeping an eye on you after the break.